I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down?
I didn't even notice that he messaged me till like 2 days later. I woke up like, Tech N9ne in my DM. Like he was like liking my shit, and then I went to the DM. He had hit me. So now I'm thinking like, alright, how do I leverage this, or like what's next? How do I cultivate this relationship?
Why ain't I see you round back when I was down?
What's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court podcast, and I'm tapping in again one more again, and I'm still down here in the ATL. Now today I'm doing something a little bit different. You know, as y'all see, I have this gentleman sitting to my, I guess it would be my right or my left on the camera, right? I got the homie Damo, who also has an amazing platform, indelibly marked. And this is my hometown homeboy from Kansas City, Missouri. So you're gonna sit in with me on this one. So off top, I want y'all guys to go to imbigcourt.com for legacy builder. My daughter ain't here.
Don't
to help
look to
me
me
out. Yeah, you see?
don't know it.
Go to imbigcourt.com, tap in with my legacy builder community, where we talk mindset strategies and monetizing social media. Speaking of monetizing social media, we have I'm gonna say somewhat of a guru of social media, somewhat of the sorts.
I'll take that.
You take that?
I'll take that.
Okay. but man, this guy, he's an entrepreneur, one of the premier rappers out of Kansas City, and overall just intelligent dude. But I want to introduce the homie Dewey Da Don.
It's the Don. What's good, Big Court?
What's good, bro?
Man, finally, you know what I mean? Got the whole
chance to
court.
sit down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you here.
Yeah,
like,
for
mama,
sure.
I made it.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming, especially last minute, brother.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm down here in the A. I'm in your hood, you know what I mean? But this is historical right here, because we got the town in here, you know what I mean?
ATL,
yeah. So we in the ATL. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Damo from Kansas City, Missouri. Unfortunately, you from Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh, don't do me like that. Wind County, baby. You already know it. You already know it all day.
But we always fail though. KCK, KCMO. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, I'll tell y'all something funny, and I said this before. As much shit as I give Kansas, nigga. So when I was doing my I think I was doing my TSA pre-check, and you got to submit all your shit, where you was born and all that. And I kept putting in Kansas City, Missouri. And it kept getting rejected. I was like, what the fuck? I'm from Kansas, It didn't dawn on me. That's what's on my birth certificate is Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, nigga.
I was born in KU. You know
What's up, nigga? 913, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? So technically, I'm a Kansas nigga. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what it is.
And all my family, all my mother's side of the family is from Kansas, from Wyandotte. So.
Yeah, man, it's always funny as hell trying to explain to folks that's out of town like the difference, because they just lump all that shit in one. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I know when somebody really know that, when they be like, you from Kansas or Missouri, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I'm impressed when I do that. I be impressed. I'm like, oh, you know the difference.
That part.
Because what pissed me off is because I'll specifically tell people, they be like, where you from? I'm like, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, but at this point, LA, Kansas City, Missouri. Okay. So shit, what be going on in Kansas? Like, shit, I don't know.
It seems like they always put Kansas first, too.
Yeah, right.
Like they don't even know about Missouri.
That's crazy.
I will give y'all that. They always put y'all first. Like they put Kansas
right. That part.
Forget the Chiefs.
Right. That shit crazy. But anyway, so you grew up KCK.
Yep.
All right, born and raised.
30 block. Yep.
Okay, 30 block.
30th and Brown.
Okay.
I was from 31st in Cleveland, 30th and Brown. You already kind of know what it's like growing up in Kansas, but for me, I was exposed to two different extreme dynamics within my household between my father's side of the family and my mother's side. That's why I always tell people to understand the person that sit before you. You got to understand the two halves to make the whole. So my father's side, my dad was a drug kingpin. You feel me? Charlie Hustle. So, growing up, I was exposed to a lot. It changed my perception of reality, as well as it just kind of like made me grow up a little faster. You know what I'm saying? Seeing my dad with 18 wheelers full of pounds of weed, cooking up work, niggas bringing in bloody chops and niggas, left and right. But I always tell people too, like, God doesn't always place people in your life to be a positive example. Sometimes he shows you what not to do. But being a young boy, you know, I'm gonna look up to the male role models in my life. But from my father's side of my family, I get my charisma, my ambition, my hustle, my drive. On the flip side of that, I watched my mama work 3 jobs to take care of me and my little brother. You know what I'm saying? My mom wouldn't even have enough time to sometimes change clothes in between her jobs. She plopped down on the couch, get up 30 minutes, and she gone. You feel me? And my mom used to come home and she would take my hands and rub them on top of her hands and let me feel the calluses on her hands. You feel me? And she would say, "These are the hands of a working woman." You feel me? Be like me, don't be like your dad. But, you know, always was in between the two. My mama gave me ethics, morals, and civility, showed me how to be hard working. That's why I've always had some type of job in some type of capacity since I was 15 years old. But then from my father's side, I knew that wouldn't be enough. So I always dibbled and dabbled. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of my foundation as far as me and my life growing up in Kansas City.
I'm curious, what came of your dad with him? Still
Man.
living or
Yeah,
free?
man. Yeah, he free now, man. My dad been in and out of jail my whole life. I done seen him from trash bags full of money, 2.5 million, so much money he didn't know how to spend it, to the drop off. I done seen, you know, him buying cars for folks, and when he was in there, you know, I'm the one sending him to Western Union. But he good. He out now. He in good spirits, but you know, that fall be heavy, bro. And then it's hard trying to get back reacclimated into society and struggling with the idea of who you want to be versus who you was versus who you are. That shit is real. You feel me? So it's like, but you know, I respect and I love my dad. It's just I feel like as I grew into a man, I really had to accept other positive examples of what to really be like or try to emulate or learn from to break the generational curses within like my family and really just learning what a man is, bro. And I feel like no excuse, a man is gonna do what's best for his family. And a lot of times that's being there. Because nigga, we can ball out. You could be up today, down tomorrow, but time is irreplaceable, it's irrefutable, and it's an investment that once you spend it, you can get a return on it, but you never get that time back. You feel me? So it's like me having 3 girls, I know that more importantly, yeah, my dad a rapper, he cool, he entrepreneur. They just want me there.
Yeah.
To play on the VR with them, to play roadblocks and you know, the things that it's quality time to them. I feel like sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as parents to show up and do this and not knowing they looking at us like we already bigger than life just by being there. So, yeah, but he's still out here around.
From where you sit right now, if you looking back at you as a kid, would you say you had a regular childhood?
Fuck no.
Why would you say it was different?
I was overexposed, like, bro, I be trying not to like be like getting too deep with it, but like, bro, from everything from like, but see, my mama growing up, she thought putting me in private school. I was in private school, bro, from kindergarten to 5th grade. She thought, so I have a heavy religious background too. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was young, I used to want to be a preacher. You know what I'm saying? But this was before I started hanging around my pops because my mom didn't let me hang around my dad till my first recollection or memory of my hanging with my dad was like, you know. But she thought that would counterbalance the fact that my dad was a dope dealer. But bro, when I started hanging around my dad, like it opened up a whole new world to me. Cause my mom, it was like more sheltered, reserved, and you know, I just wanted to make my mama proud type shit. You know what I'm saying? So stay into the church, I'm into the church. Woo woo. But like being around my dad and you know, shit, bro, niggas is literally cooking dope, seeing motherfuckers being kidnapped. You know, I remember one time, bro, I'm in there trying to read. I'm trying to like, you remember we used to get Scholastic books?
Yeah.
And I remember, bro, I'm in one of my dad's and his people's spots. My dad watching me. And I'm just trying to, you know, mark out my little Scholastic what I want, bro. And I go back there, bro. They got a nigga duct taped up to a chair, pistol whipping him because the nigga stole a pack and stole some money. Fucked it up. And then they were still cool after that. So you know what I'm saying? Like, or just seeing a lot of different things, bro, you know, and it just kind of like changed it became regular to me.
Yeah.
So even then, I went through different like phases of culture shock. So like even like when I came out of private school and went to public school, that just enhanced everything because my dad was also, for me, he was big on do as I say, not as I do. So all my older cousins and little cousins, they could smoke weed and sell with the whoop. Nigga, you my son, you bet not. You know what I'm talking about? So most of the stuff that I really got into is when I got into middle school and I found out it was other niggas like me. Because in private school, I was smart and I really liked the benefit of the education that I got because the shit that I learned there was nothing like what they was, you know what I'm saying? Public school was a breeze for me because I was already doing calculus and all this other shit. But it was hard for me and they labeled me a troubled child like there. But it was really, bro, I was always like one of the only few black people at the school. And it was hard for me to articulate to my mom, like I'm dealing with racism because I didn't know how to explain it like that. You know, like when I'm going to go play baseball, the white boy won't pitch me the ball. So yeah, when my cousin went up there and pitched me the ball, I let the bat go and it hit the white boy in the head. Yeah, I did that shit on purpose, but I couldn't tell like they fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then coming out here, that was another piece of culture shock because growing up, all the successful black folks I knew was dope dealers.
Right.
Mostly. So then coming out here and I'm seeing lawyers, doctors, I'm seeing entrepreneurs, people who are on the boards of Emory and Wood. Each phase of my life, I had a different perspective of the scope of growth, essentially. But it started.
I was gonna say, I'm curious. My bad, not to cut you
good.
off. So I noticed, like, you know, me being from the Missouri side, and I think I'm about 10 plus years, I think, older than you too. But in my day, in the '90s, there wasn't many red rags. You know what I mean? Like they were sprinkled here and there, either on both sides.
Right.
But I know around early 2000, you know, it started to, I don't know if it became fashionable or whatever, but I'm curious, where did your blood affiliation, I'm going to say affiliation, come from?
So my uncle, so in my family, it was always split. So like my uncle West Dog and my pops and a few of my other cousins like Samson. I don't know if you're familiar with Samson England. Used to call him Ramson Menace. So they was all bloods. But my cousins and my dad's brothers, them like Keith them, they was all Crips. So I always was with my dad, with my uncles, and my older cousins is the ones that put me on 30 block mom. You know what I'm saying? That's how my shit came in. Now, where I heard they shit came in is they was fucking with niggas from the West Coast. And my dad started getting money with these niggas. They set up, it was basically a bridge now. And now the culture is integrated.
Yep, that's exactly what happened
But
on the Missouri side.
But see, with them, my perception, and this is why it's like I've always took my affiliation with a hustler mentality because all the bloods I seen was getting money. It wasn't even necessary.
You feel even me? In the '90s, I ain't gonna lie, bro. The Crips was the steppers, but the Bloods always had the box Chevys, the Dayton's, the jewelry, the drip, like they was always fly. Yeah,
players.
That's a fact. That's
like,
a fact.
And that's the biggest thing, and that's what attracted me to my dad and my uncles. They was some getting money player ass niggas. And everybody who they fuck with got money.
I ain't gonna lie. Back in the day, they used to say Crips was dusty. You know what I mean? No disrespect to the you know Keyways, but that's what they said in Kansas City. You know what I mean? That's what they used to say. And don't get me wrong, it was some blue rags getting money, but you know, in totality, because in Kansas City, the Bloods were so outnumbered. I mean, grossly outnumbered. They outnumbered anyway, but I'm saying grossly outnumbered. But the few that I remember, man, they was on it. You know what I mean?
And that's why, like me and my little gang, whatever, 30 block, we was known for getting money too, and we was proud to have that type of moniker. You know what I'm saying? Because that used to be the only thing that niggas from Missouri would give up to us Kansas niggas was, bro, them niggas is hustlers, though. Them niggas is really about their bread. And that was always instilled into me more than the violence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I mean, niggas got down, did what you had to do. But with me, my focus was always money, bro. All that other shit kind of get in the way.
What was your musical influences at the time?
Shit, my first couple cassettes was Trick Daddy and Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Damn.
So like, but Bone Thugs and Harmony to this day, bro. Like I'm a fucking fanatic,
Yeah,
bro. Like I
they're
swear
my
to God,
brothers.
bro.
They're my brothers.
Bro, we used to, bro. I used to print out the lyrics to they shit, memorize it, and like be challenging everybody in the school. Like I bet y'all don't know it, like I know it.
Yeah.
But so I went from them, and then I feel like as I was coming up in middle school, I got more so into like the Texas movement. So
Yeah.
Chameleonaire,
Yeah.
Paul Wall, Slim Thug,
Yeah.
Zero, Big Pokey. I was into
Yeah.
the screw shit. And then later on 2000s, I got more so into like the Texas niggas was on metaphors, but then I was like on the Lil Wayne, the Joel Santanas and shit like that. But really, I didn't get into like hustle music later into my life. Like as I became more of an adult,
Yeah.
that
Right.
shit just
Nah,
clicked.
that's a fact. It becomes more relevant to your life. I tell people that all the time. Like, you know, Rick Ross became more appealing to me at the stage of life that I'm at,
That nigga
opposed
still
to.
top
Don't get
five.
me wrong. I love NBA YoungBoy,
Right.
but that's a vibe for the gym.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That
Correct.
ain't really when I'm riding around to it where my mind is.
Right.
But Rick Ross, yeah, this is I can hop on a private jet. I can go hop in my shit. You know what I mean? And do
It
shit
makes
like
you
that.
feel empowered to get some money. You know what I
It
mean?
makes you
Like,
feel
what am I doing?
empowered.
You
Yeah.
feel me? Like,
Yeah.
Who was the first one that like flip your mind though? Once you heard him talking that hustle stuff, really had you like, oh, I gotta switch it up.
As far as music,
Yeah,
I feel like for me, the biggest influence, because I would say revolutionary wise, it was Tupac. I forgot to throw him out there. But when I say somebody who really embodied everything that I wanted, and I hate this because people compare me to this nigga all the
I'm
time.
already
And
knowing.
I've been
I'm
on
already
him.
knowing where
I was
you
on this
going
nigga,
with it.
bro, since
Because
before he
I
even got
told you that.
signed with
Bro,
the
I
Hustle of the
told
House
you.
shit.
Go ahead, though. I told
Nipsey
you.
Hussle,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
From the
You embody
music
Nipsey
and the
Hussle, though,
message.
bro. Yeah.
you
That-
said you hate it.
No, I said the music and the message aligns as far as like I feel like inside the music and outside of the music, I
Yeah.
like what he stands for and what he
Right.
represents progression
Yep.
and kind of building from within.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Versus getting all your help externally. Nah,
Yeah.
let's do that shit right here, man.
Yeah.
And you ain't gotta run from your past or who you are, but you can still be representing something bigger than yourself. That's where niggas get shit twisted because it's like all day we box motherfuckers in, but when you box people in, you're limiting their capabilities based upon what you see versus what can be. So you feel me? I feel like Nipsey Hussle broke down a lot of barriers.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah,
they
you
hit me with that shit all day,
nah,
every day
you
on the
definitely
net.
have a Nipsey feel and vibe about you. Because when I first came across your shit, I was like, "Damn, this nigga from Kansas." You know what I mean? Like it was such a Nipsey kind of West Coast vibe. You know what I mean? But real quick, you said Bone Thugs and Harmony. Who was your favorite Bone Thug?
Ooh, it's gonna be between Busy Bone and Flesh and Bone.
Okay.
But see, it's all for different reasons. Stylistically, and like sonically busy, but like technically crazy is the coldest one when it comes to bars. And he's been one that can adapt his flow throughout time and all his collabs go crazy. You feel me? Like
That's right.
every last one.
That's right.
But Flesh and Bone, I felt like was a sleeper one for me. And I used to like run that nigga. I remember sorry, got this shit off LimeWire, but I remember, boy, I used to play that one that he had with him and Run from
his first one, Thugs, Humbly United.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my shit. But nah, like I love all them niggas for different reasons.
Yeah.
But nah, bro. To this day, like can't nobody tell me shit about Bone Thugs and Harmony, bro.
I feel like people treated Flesh like the White Ranger though. They always wanted him to pop
Bro, he
up.
was
they
the
out-
cheat
and he was-
code, bro.
yeah,
I
they
swear,
treated him like that.
because he was in jail like
Yep.
earlier on. So
Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
we got him and then we didn't. So it's
Yeah.
like anytime you
Yeah.
hear it, it's like, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Nah, Flesh was hard. Flesh was hard.
and that Crossroads remix, like his verse on there, I'm like, why didn't y'all keep this shit on here, bro? Like, Flesh
Yeah.
is one of my faves, though.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie Stat. Yeah. So who were some of your local influences?
Rich the Factor, of course, but I can't even hold you. I got on Rich the Factor, I feel like late too, because it was niggas in high school that was trying to tell me, oh, Rich the Factor, but I'm on Lil Wayne, so I'm like, But locally, now I would say, yeah, definitely Rich, Tech, from both of them from a stylistic standpoint and a business standpoint. Fat Tone was cool, but I can't never say like I was just super on tone. Like I can't stunt. It's a Mexican group I used to fuck with, Quick Cash, out of Kansas City. I like them a lot. Mad Marlin, I can't lie. Like I feel like a lot of niggas would sleep on Matt Marlin and his movement, but from a branding perspective, like that was one of the first people I would see from start to finish. This nigga got a rap van. He had the Mad bags. He had his t-shirts. Like he was pushing this shit like nigga mid 2000s heavy, and he took us on our first tour, and we got to like open up for him and Bone Crusher out there in Junction City and shit. So locally,
He from the Kansas side. Okay,
yeah, Matt Marlin
of
from the 913. Yup,
okay,
Matt
never heard of
Marlin. I'm trying to think who else, but I mean, outside of that, you know, the I would say coming up, those was probably my influences, but
Yeah.
I really rap with my homies, bro. Like my boy Casanova, he the one that really taught me how to rap. I've been rapping and making mixtapes and selling them since I was 15. So, you know, a lot of my biggest influences was the niggas that was around me that was rapping, and I'm seeing what they doing, and you know, cause I was terrible at first, bro. Like I'm living proof of like, bro, if you stick with anything
Nigga
on
said I was
100,000
terrible.
hours, bro.
We was all terrible,
Bro, I
bro.
listen to that
We was
shit now.
all Hey, hey, listen, man. I got albums that certain websites, bro, the 90s shit, and they post it, and they be, oh man, we need, and I'm like, oh my god, turn that shit off, the fuck. And then you be like, what was I thinking? I thought I was killing shit.
We
You
gonna
know
make it
what
out
I'm
the
saying?
basement with this shit.
Yeah, my first group album that we put out, and then it's the thing with me, nigga. I'm practicing in front of a lot of people because
Right.
I never put out a local album. I always had distribution. So my first album shipped like 20,000.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, I hadn't even refined or found my voice. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I was like 17, sounding like I was 12. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
It takes time, bro.
It do.
Especially with this music
It do.
shit and getting,
Yeah.
like you said, your sound, and then getting the branding too, like making sure like everything is packaged. That was my biggest struggle because I started off in a group.
Yeah, me too.
And then me and my mans, we decided in order to strengthen both of our brands individually, we should probably go solo for a while. And that's when we started. And that's when my shit's kind of like, because it just made it easier to step into myself.
I want to ask, go ahead, Damo.
What started helping design your flow though? Like when you started feeling comfortable with it.
Oh shit, the nigga always had flow. Now, in the sense of like, because I listen to a lot of different artists too. So like I was understanding, see, because me, I'm a technical person. So like that's why I love writing, because like the flow switch ups and the cadences and like how you play with syllables and shit. So like me, I might do, instead of like a boom, 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 like a standard 16, my starting word and my ending word is the fucking bar or whatever. But in between there, I got 2 or other 3 words that ping off of that. And that's when you start rhythmically and sonically, you're playing with people's ears. So like once you understand certain shit like that, like me, I can't just write some shit and I'm reciting and I know it's not in the fucking pocket. Or sometimes I'll be like, I'm in the pocket too long. What can I do to excite it again? Or woo the woo. So like, I like the technical aspect of writing because I'm like, if it doesn't excite me, I know it ain't gonna excite nobody else. So I always kind of start with that, and just knowing like,
so song structure. Yeah,
it's like telling a story. Like even in the books, you know, you got the introduction, you got the woo the woo, the rise to the climax, and then it comes to an end. I feel like you compose music in the same fucking way. It's you know, you want to paint
that's
that
dope
picture.
that you know that.
That's tough.
That's dope that you know that. Yeah. So I'm gonna get a little controversial now.
Sure.
So you mentioned Tech and Rich. So there's always this debate.
He see it.
He see it. You know what I mean? There's always this debate of who is king of Kansas City. Now, this is my, and I'm asking you the question. Now, music-wise, that's subjective. You know what I mean? Everybody gonna have their taste.
Right. Let's break down the criteria.
The criteria.
Yeah.
Exactly. So who do you think is the king of Kansas City and why between those two?
So don't say this is a cop out, but I feel like they both the kings of Kansas City for different reasons. So when it comes to underground, when it comes to super independent, straight out the mud, little to no partnerships, like I know this nigga Rich pulled up to the label and pulled off because he wasn't fucking with it type shit. I think that Rich got that. But I feel like with that viewpoint, it limits what your success could potentially be because you are comfortable with the circumference that you've created. You are the underground king. Will you be played on radio, internationally, domestically, get a movie sync deal? Probably not. Now, Tech is just more so of an icon now. Like, you can't take nothing away from a nigga that's got features with Kendrick, fucking Lil Wayne, and some of that ain't even them jumping on his shit. They're asking him to get on his shit.
Right.
But I feel like, but his audience is different. And his audience shows up differently and they pay differently. And I think that that in itself is a different thing. But I feel like in a lot of ways, they both wish probably that they had a little of what the other one had. I feel like Tech be want more of the streets a little bit with that success. And I think Rich would love to scale his business to a higher volume of numbers. Cause like even like we go to a Rich to factor Spotify. Even though he might be hovering between like 20 to 30,000 monthly listeners, but that's just only one metric. But that nigga can drop an album and literally still sell the fucking CD. You know what I'm talking about? And people are still requesting, looking for him. He can go to a show, sell it out. So,
but I love what you said and you answered it perfectly. For me, that was always kind of I took, I'm not gonna say I took umbrage with, but I always felt like Rich didn't scale like he could.
correct.
There was a time where I felt like that window was open where Rich could have literally got a budget from a major. You know what I'm saying?
They said they walked him to the door.
I believe it. I believe it. And Rich don't want to have no parts of the industry. You know what I'm saying? But I always thought that was kind of a, like you said, short-sighted, way of thinking. You know what I mean? Because then that could have created a movement, because, let me see. And I'm not saying speaking for me, but just the consensus of the city, that's what they say Strange hasn't done, which I disagree because most of the rappers that they've had are from Kansas City.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
But maybe they're trying to scale or put those rappers in front of, like you said, a different audience. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I don't know, it just didn't stick like that. Whereas maybe if Rich had the infrastructure that Tech had and the backing and take those same street rappers to his audience, maybe it would have, you know what I'm saying, connected a little bit differently.
It would have probably sustained a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I feel like,
and that's no shade to either one, just kind of, working through it. You know what I mean?
Because they both successful in their own right. And I think that it's easier also, too, from us on the outside looking in versus literally being in their shoes to determine their value proposition on what they're doing.
Exactly.
But it is a fun debate.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the next debate that I want to see is like, okay, so who's the 2 and the 4 niggas under them? Because
that's a fact.
It's been these 2 niggas for the long time.
It's been these 2 niggas.
Bro, they got
exactly what I said.
Like, they got it. You know what I'm saying?
So listen, every time we get on that conversation, I start saying the same thing within the last couple of years. I'm like, okay, cool, Rich and Tech. Who's next? Who else are we gonna talk about?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Who is the budding young artist? It gets silent. Because when I say who are the dope young niggas that's bubbling, that's get buzz in the city, under 25, 21,
now
does anyone know?
That does get shaky. You gotta be heavily deep into the young life movement to understand that. Cause I ain't gonna lie, me and LB be having these conversations, and LB be telling me about the little young niggas.
Yeah.
Because that shit.
But why we don't see them? Because social media, like, don't get me wrong, I see 2 times, shout out to 2 times. Kansas niggas be doing their thing. I like 2 times. I'm trying to think of who else. I can't, and I don't know. He may be just under 30, or I think somewhere around there.
I think he's still even maybe in my same age range. I just think that it's just different bubbles. Like if we was like, or just like a Facebook group, I just feel like we all in one group and them all them other like because when you say young niggas, because I couldn't even name besides like damn, I don't even know, like FTB Bino is a name I've heard. Because when I think young niggas, I'm trying to think of like what niggas is younger than me.
Yeah,
but it's like I be amongst my peer group.
Yeah.
And we all the same fucking age. You know what I'm saying? But then motherfuckers call us the young ones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nigga,
y'all are the young ones to us.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
So if y'all are the young ones, is there anybody within y'all group that can be in that debate of the next rich?
All of us, nigga. Nigga, Rob Lowe the Star, Miss Kush, Dewey Da Don, motherfucking who else is making noise like that? Miss Kush, my nigga Hood Nizzle, Nova Kane, Brandocious, Sully 4Q, Casey Young Boss.
Yeah.
But if it's two, who would the city be arguing? Who would the people be arguing? Like we arguing Rich and Tech. If there was two like at the top, who would it be?
All right. So I can tell you the city and I can tell you my perspective.
Yeah,
From the city standpoint, I'm thinking the two they would say is Casey Young Boss and Rob Lowe the Star.
Okay.
Okay. Good choices.
I think that would be the city consensus. Me just being strictly analytical.
Yeah.
I would say next up is me and Sully, 4Q. We've been holding the most numbers consistently over a period of time.
I have to throw Herb the Phenom in there.
And Herb.
Herb the Phenom.
Herb the Phenom. And I'm mad that I forgot about Herb because Herb been doing numbers too for a long time consistently. And so I would say 3. I would throw Herb in there because now we're talking about people with actual homegrown audiences outside of the city.
Right.
Because the numbers are for one, I be using the same backend software that like labels and A&Rs use as far as analytics. When I tell you like, nigga, the power is in the data, bro. So like while everybody be on the internet debating and I just pull up their information and I see what the fuck's going on. And I'm like, oh, okay. I see we're trending up, trending down, or it's nothing. It's just conversation without execution and movement. But I never take nothing like that. When I look at a talented artist and I see that they're not able to move that scale, it just lets me know how much effort they're putting into their marketing. It has nothing to do with their fucking talent. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
that's a fact.
I completely separate those two. But when it comes to competing in the marketplace, yes, I'm very competitive and I will be more technical and analytical.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all that subjective shit, but because also too, it helps you streamline where the focus should be to create the tipping point, because when one nigga get on, usually subsequently he'll affect 5 niggas that affect 5 niggas that 5 niggas. But once we're spreading everything so thin in the sense of like everybody trying to get these 20 motherfuckers on when half of them already fuck with each other. If Rob Lowe the Star was to get on, please believe you would see Miss Kush in a different situation.
Exactly.
If I was to get on, you gonna see a lot of people I fuck with in a different situation. But I feel like sometimes we're not as strategic when it comes to support. Because just because we're trying to get this motherfucker through the door right now because he done spent $300,000, because the radio done picked him up, because he got this look. It's not saying I don't fuck with y'all, but it's like, let's get this nigga to where he need to go and then move on. I feel like that's why with the KSC Music Awards, you see all the same fucking names all the goddamn time. But ain't nobody hit it yet.
Yeah.
So again, I'm like, if you can't create leverage off platforms, off your names, off your collaborations, it's just an indication of bad business. You ain't figured it out yet. You feel me?
I love that. I love what. So I guess because I want to be careful with my words because I don't want to come off too hypercritical. But we working through it. You know what I'm saying? We talking through it. Do you think that like NKC, because like you said something, your audience, you have an audience outside of Kansas City. You probably have more impact and influence outside of Kansas City, as does Herb the Phenom, as does Casey Young Boss. I think he may be half and half, right? Why do you think that is? Is that a mentality thing? Because for me, from my vantage point, it seems to always have been like this, even since the 90s. There's some people that it's different for Rich. It was different for Tone. There's a few,
Right.
but it almost seems like if you don't pander, if you don't acquiesce to Kansas City, if you don't just talk to them and just be 100% Kansas City and what they understand Kansas City, then it's like they kind of disconnect with it. If you know, because me and Irv was talking about it. He was like the red and yellow, right? He did the song for Kansas City. They fuck with it. We love it. But then when he does some other shit that, you know, maybe is like a major sound, not a Kansas City sound, it's like, nah, we Kansas City. Like, is that a real thing or am I seeing it wrong?
I think that's a real thing.
And I'm saying, and the reason I asked you is because you said data, right? So this ain't just me talking. This ain't just me guessing. Does the data support that you see?
Yes. And I feel like, because I feel like initially there's been a misconception on what the KC sound is. And I feel like I used to give it up. They would say we had the mob sound, or like they would say Fat Tone or Rich the Factor, but that's an isolated pocket, because if you go fucking 30 minutes outside of that city, they sound completely different. Kansas music from the Missouri side and the Kansas City side is so fucking eclectic and it's so different. And like me and LB be talking about this all the time. Like, bro, once we step outside our circles, the things that we find are so different, so multi-layered. But I do feel like we stereotype ourselves and we dumb ourselves down. But what I always tell people with that is to not be discouraged, because at the end of the day, any Missouri nigga and any Kansas nigga, despite the fact of whether they like it, taste, once you go out and get results, everybody respect it. Because it's like, what else can you say to that? Or they just not gonna say nothing at all.
That's a fact.
That it ain't gonna be the hate. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Either they not gonna say nothing, or it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give it up to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
saying nothing just as bad though.
Yeah.
As the hate.
Yeah, because that type of hate that brews internally in you, where you can't give it up to it.
No,
nigga,
but I'm gonna tell you what they do.
Self-inflicted.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna tell you what they do. What they do.
You're killing yourself.
Let me tell you what they do, bro. What they do is they say, nah, that ain't Kansas City. You know what I mean? He ain't Kansas City. When you start thinking and moving and accomplishing things outside of it, they say, that ain't Kansas City. He ain't representing Kansas City. It's like they want you to stay here with me. Yeah. Don't scale. Don't get bigger. Don't fuck the rest of the world. Stay here with us.
And that shit, that whole statement is an oxymoron, because how you gonna tell that to the 12,000 people that listen to me in Atlanta? Because that was their first introduction to Kansas City music.
Yeah.
Because they know I'm a nigga from Kansas City. So, they hear my shit. They say, this is what... Come on.
And so this goes back to my saying. So hold on. This goes back to my saying though, right?
Come on.
This is why I say what you did, right? You did exactly what I did, what Tech did, what others did. What we did was we put Kansas City on our back, and we went out to the world and represented and introduced them to it. But what they expect us to do is turn our back on the world and just talk to Kansas City. We can't represent like that. We can't. At that point, it's just a pep rally. Think about doing this. Think about you in high school, you're doing the pep rally. Yeah, let's get them. Let's get them. Let's go. Yeah, team. And then you never go play the game. You never go get in the game.
Yeah, that is a very dangerous mentality to get caught up into. And I just stray away from it, because it's just like the nigga that's the best hooper at the school but never played in the district.
Yeah.
Or never played
played regionally.
Yeah. It's like, nigga, so you just want to be the best nigga in your school? What about when you graduate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like you think I want to be necessarily just the hottest nigga in Kansas living in Atlanta? Bitch, I'm trying to take over the South. Fuck you talk about.
Exactly.
Niggas on my jack every day. Bro, when you come back to Kansas City, bitch, I'm focused on a whole nother region right now. Like, I've done the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done enough to be established and for niggas to know what's going on, but it's going to require more. That line of thinking will never yield a successful business model, because simply, if you started a fucking bakery today, you telling me you only gonna sell these motherfucking cupcakes to your mom and your cousin? You think you gonna get rich off your mom and your cousin?
Exactly.
And all the niggas you went to school with. So how you gonna blow up in music when you're just circumventing only to the niggas that already know you?
Right.
What about the ones that don't? Because they're gonna have a biased perspective on you no matter what. Just like the niggas I went to school with. Yeah, I'm Dewey Da Don, but to them, that's James fucking Harris, nigga. I went to school with him.
Right.
So automatically, it might not even that they trying to hate. Subconsciously, your perspective is different because you feel like you know me.
Right.
Versus, bro, swear to God, bro. And this shit has been weird for me, but like in Gwinnett, like my marketing shit, but like, bro, I be in the gas station and motherfuckers be like, you got someone with TikTok? Like, you doing the guy, ain't you? And then they'll pull up their phone, but I got your shit on my playlist. Nigga, blowing my mind. They not, hey, hey James, da da da. I know you from, nigga, all they know me from music. And then nigga, I get in the car, call my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they spotted me out here. You know what I'm saying? I think it's starting to work. So, but that's the type of feeling that I want. I don't, you know, I mean, yo, niggas gonna tell you good for so long.
That's why I fuck with your movement, you know, because me and you had conversations. We've actually talked shop on Facebook Live.
Right.
And that's why I was like, damn, he know what he doing. I love that part. Talk about your collaboration with Tech N9ne and how that came about.
So, man, that was actually like at a funny point in my music career because I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I slick quit. I quit fucking rapping, but like how we talked earlier offline, when I was talking about how I create, I always create in bulk. So that's in everything. So like even just a couple months ago, I cooked up 3 albums, but I drop a single every month. So I got like 2.5 years worth of music and I got it all scheduled out because I don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? Want to give everything its fair shot. But bro, I was just tired of going. Now I wasn't going broke, but I was tired of spending all my fucking money on it. Bro, I ran up like literally like 300,000 to 400,000 on myself in like a 3-year period, bro.
I believe it. Remember that time me and you posted our Facebook?
Yeah, just the ad spin.
Just the ad spin. I think I had spent like what I spent like 20,000. He spent like 15. He wasn't far behind me, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, we sure did." Yeah,
and I was just more so like, as a man, we have to not what we equate our worth to all the time, but I feel like as a man, you got to prove your worth in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Whether it's like you got an old lady, you got kids with the whoop, like we're earners, right? And if I'm earning, but all my earning is going to this, I just really had to take some time to focus on my finances. So like I educated myself on like how to get my credit and shit together so I could leverage that. Because I said the only way I'm going to be able to move like the majors is I have to literally operate like a major. But I know that they spend other people's money and that's how you stay rich. That's how that's even street knowledge, nigga. That's just even in the streets. Like, nigga, you fuck with the plug, you get that lot of credit. When he fucks you gonna make more money. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're not all the way in yourself.
My Jamaican partner used to tell me, you know what I'm saying? He was out there, he used to tell me, as long as you keep saying here to me, I'm gonna keep saying here to you.
Exactly, because you're gonna fucking come back.
Fucking right.
And it's money every time you walk in and walk out, right? So I spent that time, and then like within a short amount of time, you know what I'm saying? I'm back up. I'm like, damn, I saved 80,000 motherfucking dollars real quick. And my credit, nigga, 800. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on, real quick. I'm sorry not to cut you off. A nigga be flexing with his credit too. Cause I just see you posting screenshots of your shit. I was like, ooh, that nigga grown folk flexing.
You hear me?
That nigga like, fuck some money. I'm gonna show y'all this 810. You know what I mean?
Real quick, like, you know what I'm saying? Got my 401k straight, diversified some portfolios, really started like, you know, because my house was already closed on. I got my house at a 1.3 interest rate. So it was like, let me just be fuck this rap shit, bruh. Let me just be a regular balling ass nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that was my thought process. But Tech must have been on, Tech was fucking with Roblo heavy. And he be on her page. Now, me and Roblo Roblo been my best motherfucking friend since, nigga, we worked at Walmart together.
Man, I love
you feel
Roblo.
me? Like, bro, I'm talking about like 15 years plus. Like, nigga, we used to rap in the back of Walmart on my little flip camera off my iPod beats. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we go way the fuck back. So he was on her page. And he said he was just checking out everybody she was fucking with. And he said it was 2 niggas that floated to the top. He said, you and Hood Nizzle. He said, oh, I gotta hit these niggas up. And he did. So like, bro, it was like one morning, bro, and my dumb ass, I'm running around trying to do what I'm doing. I didn't even notice that he messaged me till like 2 days later. I woke up, I'm like, Tech N9ne in my DM. Like, he was like liking my shit, and then I went to the DM, he had hit me. So now I'm thinking like, all right, how do I leverage this? Or like, what's next? How do I cultivate this relationship? Because I'm like, I don't want it to be. I want to develop a relationship. Like, because bro, I remember when I worked at the fucking movie theater, bro, and that nigga came in there, and I remember I called my mama, and he was in there with this white girl. She had a Jordan logo on her shoulder, and I was like, I waited till he got out the movie to give him his CD. So for all that shit, my CD. So for that shit to come full circle, but I digress. Let me get back to the story. So essentially, I went from I already had a year's worth of music scheduled, but I had fucking nothing. So for me, sometimes like I'm big on like manifesting, and sometimes I'll start with the end goal and my body will catch up. So like I'm on with him. I'm talking cash shit. I'm like, yeah, nigga, I'm working on this album. I'm working on this album, and shit, I'm gonna come to Kansas City because I do all my shit in Kansas, and when I got the studio session, maybe you'll pull up. And he was like, yeah, no doubt, I'll do that. I'm like, cool. And matter of fact, I got this song with your boy Popper, and shit, we gonna shoot the video at the studio. You wanna hop in? He like, bet. I'm like, all right, cool. So now I'm like, I gotta cook an album though, because nigga had nothing. So like within 3 weeks. But I had already booked the flight. I had booked the session with Jazz, booked me 20 hours. You feel me? Now I'm letting my body catch up. And I literally went from being unmotivated, writer's block, giving up to within 3 weeks, I cooked up a whole album. I had a placeholder song that I wanted Tech N9ne on. And me and Jazz going back and forth. Jazz basically coaching me like, bro, when we get in here, do not just chill with Tech, bro. Like, don't ask this nigga for no feature, no nothing like that, because that's what he used to getting that. So he spent the whole day with me, bro. Like just in the studio, we shooting. Well, I was drinking. He don't drink. I'm drinking this shit. They listening to the records and shit. By the end of the session, and he brought X-rated. And by the end of the session, he was like, "Hey, bro, yeah, man, if you hear something, you know what I'm saying, me on there, let me just like, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, nigga, I already got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just like playing cool shit. I played it about cool till I got to the Airbnb, nigga, and I hit that nigga like, bro, hey, I got one for you. Send it to him. Dang. 10 million streams later. Damn.
Man, 10 million?
Yeah, across everything. On
Yeah.
Spotify alone, it said 2 million, but across like the board, 10 million.
That's super dope.
10 fucking million.
That's super dope. I mean, talk about that. I mean, sometimes, of course, Tech gets his little hate, but Tech will pull up, he'll do verses, he'll do videos. Most times he won't charge you. I mean, talk about how important that is, in him lending, like you said, you understand leverage, you understand relationship, see, because you think like a business guy. So you're not thinking, oh shit, Tech's supposed to blow me up. He's supposed to do everything. You understood that his name can, especially data wise, it's going to get you those eyeballs.
That's the tool in itself.
Mhm.
As far as me, and I've dealt with a lot of industry niggas from just working for Usher, you know what I'm saying, and being around him and all that shit. Like, but as far as like, because I used to think Usher was like super humble, which he is, but like Tech N9ne is like one of the realest straightforward. Like Usher was a mysterious ass nigga. Like you ask him like a straightforward question sometimes, and he like speaks in a soliloquy or some shit. You like, all right, bro, I don't know what to do with that. But like Tech, it's more so straightforward. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna let you know why I'm doing this, nigga, because the game need niggas like you. So like even being esteemed, because I literally asked him too, the same thing. How you find me and why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like, for free and all this. And he was just like, bruh, honestly, you look at it like I'm helping you, but he's like, honestly, real shit, you helping me. He was like, nigga, you the youth, you the next one up. He's like, you a fucking lyricist. He was like, I wouldn't fuck with you if your shit was whack.
Oh,
And I respect your music and I want to see you win. And it was like, so hearing that from someone of his stature, and like we're both coming from the same place, like that's why I be telling people, like, don't squander motivation. Don't squander opportunities to be exposed to something that could propel you. Don't expect for the thing in itself to do it, but let it ignite you to, like I said, bro, set the plan, let your body follow. But I feel like I did have something to prove to Tech because I'm like, bro, you done gave me basically the value of $50,000 verse for free. You done shot 2 fucking videos with me.
Yep.
And now I got a personal relationship with you. You hit me on my line, we talk. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this record.
Yeah.
You feel me? And I hope I exceed what you thought. And I hope I exceed it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to push the boundaries. But I think that a lot of times in business or as artists, we have an unrealistic expectation of what help is.
That's a
And
fact.
my mentor taught me a long time ago that when you dealing with successful people, I ain't even gonna say rich, but successful people and their time is their money and shit.
Yep.
You need the idea when you ask them for help, make sure it's something that they can tweak and not something that they gotta create. Because if they gotta fully create this shit, it takes too much fucking time.
Exactly.
And they're not a project manager. And they're not gonna be in the fucking weeds with you. But have enough of the shit already cooked to where a nigga can sprinkle some little shit or hey bro, we gonna pair it with this canty wine or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm talking about? And now your shit, bomb.com, nigga, million sold.
Yep.
So like I already knew if I could line up everything like how Tech was presented to me, I knew what the fuck I was gonna do with it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. You made a good point with that. Man, that's refreshing that you understand that because I get people that approach me about so many things, and people don't understand that in order for me to really be of value, what you're thinking, I have to be married to your situation. I can't do that. I don't have the bandwidth. It's only one of me. There's 10 of you asking me for something. You know what I mean? And so and I can see where you are. It's a project. I would have to get fully vested in you. I can't do that, but if you just need something, people don't know the power. Sometimes to come up is just a little bit of information. Like you said, the tweak. But that tweak is going to come by way of relationship. Once we have rapport, then you're able to, because I know who I have access to. And it's not about give me a bunch of money or do this for me or connect me. No, I do 99.9% of the work.
exactly.
And by the time I'm reaching to something, it's simple. I just need either your advice. It might even be just keys to a door. But shit, I done all the work.
That
All
part.
you got to do is just turn the door. I don't need you to build it, then open the door for me, then pull me through. So I love that you said that because most people don't understand that, bro.
Yeah, people don't understand like what helping them in the sense of what they actually need or are capable of, like how much, like you said, it's gonna take. And it's just a lot of people have unrealistic
Realistic
expectations
expectations.
for not only even themselves, but how you gonna expect this nigga to do all this work when you ain't did half of it? That makes
Thank
no
you.
fucking
Nigga,
sense, bro.
I've been called
The
the
fuck?
asshole and arrogant in Hollywood for that same thing. Cause I'm outspoken. I say it. Like, bruh, you want me to do you want me to hold your hand and hold your dick. I don't do that.
Oh, I
You know what I
can't.
mean? Yeah. My oldest daughter, Rachel Renee, she's a tech founder. You know what I mean? Well, and my daughter even sees this. She said, damn, she said, how is strangers and niggas you really don't even know feel so entitled to you? So entitled to you helping them. I'm your child. I never ask you for nothing. And if I do, I've done everything.
That part.
And I'm coming to you with something completely finished. And all I need is either, it might be a little money or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Connect or some information. But I'm like, man, what is the entitlement is deadly.
Crazy.
That's some of them same people can't tell you what guests you had on your platform.
Right.
They can't tell you nothing about none of your music. Or
No,
they just know
no.
you have a
Right.
big platform.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
even I've had times where, youngsters in the city have approached me and they create this conversation to say, well, I feel like you, Rich and Tech or whatever, you could do more. And they're idealistic about what see, you do the work, so right? But if you tell them, well, you know what? How much does it cost to work a record? They have no concept of it. You know what I mean? It's like, so if I tell you, well, it's about 150,000 to work a record,
on the low
right?
end.
On the low end, right?
Because you want to do a promo tour, it's gonna be about 3-4.
So then we ain't even factoring in working radio, right?
Correct.
So then they like, oh shit. So I'm like, okay, so you brought it to me. You feel like I should get 10 niggas because they real. Now they haven't done no work, but they real. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They real. And I'm supposed to spread 150, 200,000 across all of them. But you're not understanding that when you do that, man, you married to it. So I have to have faith that you're not gonna go to jail.
Right.
You're not gonna lose motivation.
Right.
You ain't gonna be strung out. It's so many things
You gonna show up.
that you're gonna show up and you gotta do, and they think the work is just the studio.
Hell
no,
no.
nigga. That's the
Hell
easy
no.
part of it. That's the
Hell
easy
no.
part of it, right?
Hell
And,
no.
and they're so idealistic about it, but I be trying to educate, and I know you do the same thing. And sometimes it's frustrating because it's like Kansas City doesn't have a shortage of talent. It's so rich with talent.
Fact.
But it's hard to, not for everybody. Just, I'm not saying this for everybody, but when you want to see them win, and it's like, man, all you got to do is take the information and apply it. And you're not as far off as you think you are. Posting content is free. I seen someone on Facebook crying, oh, nobody supports me. I said, damn, complaining it ain't a business model. Like all the posts that you're putting, you're not even, I didn't know you was a fucking rapper.
Right.
All I see is you're complaining.
Right.
I ain't posted, I ain't seen an album. I ain't seen you freestyle. I ain't seen a hanging mic shit or one mic. I ain't know you rap.
You ain't got no key indicators or identifiers. It's like.
Exactly. So I'm like, you just sitting back, just, so.
Some people want the world to come to them, but
yeah,
you're going to be waiting for a very fucking long time.
That's right.
If that is your mentality. And honestly, I like when people like that reveal themselves because it's like, oh, I'm not fucking working with you.
That's a fact. That's
nigga.
a fact.
The hell?
That's a fact.
We over here on some other shit.
So you mentioned you work with Usher.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about, your relationship with Usher?
So, long story short, so when I was a senior in high school, I got caught with an ounce of weed at school. Like I said, I sold candy, clothes, CDs, sometimes sold a little something.
Reggie or was this mid?
Oh hell no! This was
some kush.
Yeah,
okay.
This was some dro, nigga. Hydro.
I was just seeing what you was working with. I was seeing what you was working with.
It was definitely that. You feel me? But I got caught with that at school. The only thing that kept me from being expelled was the fact that I had straight A's and nothing but good comments to say about me from all my teachers. The same teachers that caught me with the shit taught my favorite class in school with marketing entrepreneurship. Now, when I came back from JDC, and I'm back in the school, so they trying to basically now the same motherfuckers that caught me is trying to introduce me to this Usher shit. Because how they lined it up was the entrepreneurship class that I was in was writing the curriculum for Usher's camp. They was doing something similar to like teaching youth kind of like the business side of the music industry. So they was working with them. But in the negotiations, they worked out for 2 students from their program out the whole district to be selected, but they only had 2 spots. So, this is when I found that like positive encouragement is one of the hardest things to come by, sometimes even because of your friends, because I had built up my brand so negatively in school. Because it's not like I would run down on niggas like, bro, I'm on the fucking honor roll. I'm a straight A student. Like, nah, nigga, I was known for having that sack, having the straps, because like guns was my thing. Like when I was in school, you know what I'm saying? Like bought, sold, traded. Everybody knew like if somebody needed a gun, they just knew to come to me. So I was known for that type of shit. So like my homies is like telling me like, nigga, they not gonna pick you. Excuse me, shit like that. And I remember like, bro, I didn't even have no suit. I had a ball fucking suit from my uncle. But the thing that got me roasted on so much in school was, bro, he gave me these dress shoes that was the pointiest joints, like, out of his closet, bro. They called them motherfucking roach killers. Like, they like, well, he get the cracks, all the walls of the school, kill all the roaches with them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? But I had to block it out because, like, honestly, like, my teachers had won me over. They showing me, like, his website. I'm seeing, pictures of kids in the studio with Usher. I'm like, nigga, I'm about to go ahead and get a record deal. That's like, it ain't that easy. So, like, I competed. It was over 500 students. I had to do like interviews. I had to like do business plans, showcasing like my mixtape as a product. I had to do a P&L on cause I'd make good sales in high school, bro. Like off mixtapes, I would have all the girls in my school burn my CDs at their house. They would bring them all to my locker and I would just sell them. I didn't even pay them. Nigga making like 3,500 off a CD. But long story short, man, they picked 2, man, and I was one of them. It was me and it was a dude named Marcus Villa from Wichita. And this nigga, for me, this was my first time outside my community, first time on an airplane, and I thought my entryway into the music industry was gonna be through a rap nigga. And little did I know, like that year I was starting like a fucking 15-year relationship with an R&B singer. And each summer, bro, they was just calling me back out, bro, until eventually they was exposing me to so much positive things and showing me the power that I had as a leader that I eventually just left the streets alone. You know what I'm saying? They convinced me to want to go to college, and Usher afforded me the opportunity to go to college out here and move and work for him full time. And I moved in 2011. So, you know, for 10 years, I was just a youth in his organization. Then they voted me onto the board of directors. And I was certified over 100,000 youth in their leadership model. I helped them write and develop curriculum, test it, um, develop. So I would use my story basically at like donor events like that, and you know, share my story and my testimony. I would raise millions of dollars, bro, just off of sharing my story. So yeah, I did that for 10 years.
Wow.
And then that's when I transitioned to the Starbucks shit.
Yeah. So what did you learn working with Usher? What is one thing that you can go to that he
Be humble but be hungry. Take what's coming to you, never forget where you come from, but always want more, and do the unexpected and to go where it's narrow, you know. And I think the only one that you gotta really balance is going where it's narrow, because you don't want people to limit, you know, your capabilities, but at the same time, in the sense of it's gonna be more opportunities where it's less people trying to go through that door versus this one over here and everybody trying to fit through that motherfucker. You might get trampled.
That's right.
But you know, so that's why I always think like I would have a primary passion, and then I would develop skill sets that I could monetize no matter what I'm doing. So I could always have a narrow opportunity too. So instead of just being a rapper, I can leverage my marketing skills. I can leverage my communication skills. Just even knowing how to do business and work with people. Those are things. My financial consulting.
Right.
Those are things that I can monetize to feed into my passion.
Yeah.
So when I think of going narrow, that's what I think of. I think of like, don't limit your capabilities as far as like the skills
Yeah.
that you have to liquidate into money.
Yeah.
Because your skills is what gets you the job. See, some people focus so much on a job, and then you work this one job, but then you walk away with no fucking skills for real. Because unless you can literally just do that job, it's transferable skills is what they call it. You know, soft, hard skills, shit like that.
Do you have a consulting firm?
Hell yeah, James Harris Investments LLC.
All right.
Definitely. You know what I
You got a
mean?
website?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
James Harris Investments LLC.com. No,
Okay.
James Harris Investments.com.
Okay.
Yes.
All
I got
right.
a website for any business or any idea that I have. I always create a domain. I always create a website, no matter whether how active or inactive it is, or even if I never did, just because I feel like those ideas and intellectual property is always a missed thing, because I've had domain names that I've just thought of that I've sold.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, I had swag.com. Sold that bitch for 18,000 motherfucking dollars, nigga.
Hustler. Man.
Yeah, like
So
one of my old mentors put me on that game. Like, if you think of something
that's
dope, just
right.
buy the domain and hold
Yeah.
it. Somebody's gonna probably want it.
Yeah, I done got hit. So one of you have hit me for websites before. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, you go to it, like, you want what? That's my motherfucking name. Like, you know what I mean?
Sometimes you
So,
beat them to the punch.
man, I'm like, hold on, how you get bigcourt.com? What's your name? You know what I mean? Like, but so my other thing is, was you about to say something?
I can wait.
No, go ahead.
I got a jump back question though.
Go ahead.
So going back to Walmart with you and Roblo, what was those conversations like before y'all became what y'all are? And then where y'all are right now, what does those conversations look like?
Bro, back then, bro, we was raw and hungry with it. I don't even think at that point, we wasn't even doing it. We was doing it more so strictly off passion. Like, I remember, like, anything I would have that I could utilize to showcase our talent, I would share with her. So, like, one of my mentors that I met through Usher's New Look when I testified to Congress, she invested into me and bought me my first MacBook Pro. And I turned that bitch into a mobile studio. Like, I got me a little stand. I got all the peripherals. I got the Pro Tools. But before I even did that, me and Roblo, I would go to our house, we would pull up, we both have a little 7, we roll up, we would smoke and rap into that fucking MacBook all night, nigga. I swear to God, nigga, on the blood beat. We would literally, no microphone, no nothing. We both side by side smoking. On GarageBand, just rapping directly into the thing, pulling up beats. Bro, we made like 150 songs like that, just freestyling. And then it went from there to then I set up my basement, my studio in the basement. Taught myself enough off of YouTube how to run a studio, and then I paid Jazz because we used to go to Jazz. I paid Jazz to come to my mama's house to teach me what he knows. Because this is how forward I was thinking. Like, not no offense to him because I still work with him now, but at that time I needed to cut out the middleman to do it myself and make more money. Because I'm like, if I can record me and my niggas, and then I can record other people, nigga, I had that motherfucker jumping for $20 an hour. You know what I'm saying? But we now I think our conversation is more so be about like thinking about the old days and more so seeing like we give it up to each other a lot because it's things that she does that I wish I was like good at or could do as far as like with her social media.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's things that I'm good at as far as like marketing. Like when I think of like the dichotomy of me and Rob Lowe, I feel like we represent two sides of the coin. I feel like I'm more the technical side and she's raw and organic. And like I'd be amazed to see what she can do on her own without adding
Yeah.
all the extra
That's a
peripherals
fact.
and shit.
That's
Because
a
I
fact.
always tell her, I'm like, nigga, if you did 10% of what I do
Yeah.
mixed with what you're doing, you'll be out of here.
Yeah.
And then she'll be saying the same thing to me. And like, that's why now I'm even like trying to produce more organic content versus like super produced and you know, I just give me a tripod, get in front of my thing and just rap to my iPhone and put it out and it's been going good. But yeah, man, I think like we just continue to push and encourage each other and we're excited to see what's gonna be next. But like me, man, I feel like even though some of my homies is older than me, I just feel like, bro, the type of nigga I am, bro, I got a big bro mentality and I like wholeheartedly want to see my niggas win, bro.
Right.
I want to see my niggas hit they mark. So like at a certain point in time, I feel like maybe I was trying to force my ideology onto people. And I gotta learn that people move at their own space, and I would never let what you're doing or not doing come in between our friendship in the sense I'm not gonna take it that personal. But I still always look out like I called them the other day because like I said, I be on that data shit. I'm like, I know y'all got plaques waiting on y'all, like from the shit y'all been doing with tech. And they like, no, for real. So I'm sending them screenshots and trying to walk them through. You know, you hit up Jewel Box Platinum, you send them the proof. It's gonna be about this much money. You get the design, you can get your plat because I just know like how hard this shit is, and I just want my niggas to continue to esteem themselves and to recognize the hard work that they putting in. But I also know like the knowledge gap. So I just be trying to close it by just giving information and letting them know, like, hey, this is the site I use, this is why da, 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 da. I feel like it's free 99 to be a real nigga. So anything that I get put on or that I know that's gonna help my career, I generally pass that off.
You know, that's dope. And have you ever ran into issues like where, because I'm guilty of that too. You know, you want everybody to go. You know what I mean? And you feel like if they only knew, this is all you got to do, man. You there. You know, sometime they'll resent you for it. And I had one of my mentors tell me too. He said, "Well, Court, what you're doing wrong is, you know, it's just like a plant. You know what I mean? You got to give them a little bit, water them a little bit at a time. But when you give too much water, you kill it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So have you found out that that's what you had to do? It's like, because sometimes you could want more for a person than they want for themselves, you know.
Yes.
But then because we're so ambitious and motivated, it's hard sometimes to meet people where they are.
Yeah, and bro, it's definitely a slippery slope. It's a line that you have to tread lightly. And like for me, it's just self-awareness and I know when to pull myself back because especially like me, like bro, me personally, I'm the type of nigga because you know I'm like I said, I'm an extroverted introvert. Bro, I might be at the house on the Casamigos, bro, and that shit hit me, and I just literally like I'm the type of nigga I get drunk and I call all my niggas and I'm just motivating. I'm just like, nigga, we gotta, boy, and I'm telling you, like I get real passionate, and I'll have conversations that I probably like normally wouldn't, or I would have said it in a different way, but I always just tell them like it's always coming from a place of love and just understand I mean well, and you know, whenever I always leave it open-ended too. Whenever you ready, or if you got any questions, you already know, smack my line. But I'm not gonna, you know, because at the same time too, you can't hold hands, and I'm not your manager either. I'm your homie. You know what I'm saying? Like I make music and shit with you, but I can't necessarily tell you what to do, but I will always advise you on what I feel like might be advantageous.
Right.
And it's up to you to, you know, use it or woo to woo. But everyone comes around, but they do it on their own time and their own season. But by the time, I always look at it like this, by the time anybody's ready to take me up on something, I probably have learned 20 times more. So anytime is the right time.
Exactly.
Because I was just helping Sophie with her marketing campaign.
Shout out to Sophie Hayes.
Yes, definitely shout out to Sophie Hayes. So they gave me access to her back end, and I got a campaign going for her, and we scaled up one of her songs dumb high. You know what I'm talking about? And for me, that was more of a gratifying feeling than even doing it for myself. Like knowing, because honestly, bro, my goal was to only rap for a couple years, get this bread, diversify, put my niggas on, do something else.
So speaking of which, that segues into my next question. So I mean, you being a supreme hustler, you done sold, you know, burnt CDs, you know, weed, music, everything, right? So now, but you on some gangster shit, which I'm super impressed about. You own a Starbucks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what made you like segue into I'm gonna sell coffee and cappuccinos and frappuccinos and shit?
Again, going where it's narrow and then seeing opportunity, the alignment. So as I was thinking about transitioning from Usher's New Look, I had brokered a partnership and a deal with Starbucks. Nigga had Usher doing Starbucks commercials, had kids going over there getting like internships corporate wise and shit like that. And I remember they wanted Usher to speak at their 100K opportunity event, which basically is like a big ass job fair, but it's not just Starbucks. It's like they work with other corporations to give people jobs on the spot, uh, dress to impress type shit. Like they was cutting folks up and, you know, all the little things in regards to that. So Usher wanted me to accompany him to Chicago, and he was like, "Shit, nigga, we gonna go on the PJ, nigga." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I remember, bro, that shit was funny as hell because, like, I'm so used to being suited and booted, like with them niggas and shit. Like, I came in a suit, and nigga was like, "Nah, nigga, today we not rocking suits." He took me to a boutique as soon as we landed in Chicago. Nigga bought me a whole new outfit, Acne jeans, bought me the Bordeaux 7. So we went. I spoke. And from there, that's when I met the CEO, Howard Schultz and Sherry Schultz, his wife. Developed a relationship with them. They started hiring, they started hiring me to speak at all their fucking events. So I was basically touring with Starbucks for like 2 years without Usher. They paid me $2,500 to come and speak for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then I get to kick it in whatever city we in. So I was like, all right, cool. So when I was thinking about transitioning, a lot of this game, bro, I picked up from just like corporate America and just like being in Usher's New Look. So like one of my mentors taught me too, like the way to move a powerful man is you gotta have his wife in your pocket because the wife is gonna be telling the husband what to really fucking do at the end of the day. So most niggas will just come straight for a court dog. But it's like if you had an old lady and they was cool with her, she like, man, you gotta have this. Da, da, da. You're gonna be more prone to do that. So my relationship was more so with Sherry Schultz, so Sherry Schultz, so I cultivated that. And when I was transitioning from New Look, I told her, like, look, you already know what type of man I am. I got some money saved up. I want to come over here because y'all mission statement aligns with kind of like something I could believe in and get behind, but I can't come in. So and so they put me in an accelerated development program and they actually fronted the initial cost for me, bro. So like even the money, the bread that I had saved, I didn't even have to spend that.
Oh wow.
And again, relationships, man, and
bro.
relationships and having a track record to where it's like they could take that risk. Cause helping anybody is always a risk, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so within 8 months, man, I had my first one. And then within 2 years, I leveraged to a second one. I just sold out the first one because I was tired of dealing with it, but I still got one right now.
What's some of the I guess pros and cons of running Starbucks?
Okay, so,
And then are you hands on? Are you in there?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
hands on.
Okay.
But right now, I've taken like a coffee break, so I got somebody in there running it for me right now.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
like what you did. That's the
I
rapper.
like
in
it.
it. That's the rapper. That's the rapper. in it. That's the
I
rapper.
like this dude, man.
That's the rapper shit.
I think okay, so one of the benefits for me personally is it just opened up my world to being a black person in business and coffee because there's not too many of us either. So even from having the power, and not saying I'm doing this bias, but it's like when you running the show, you got the power to empower other people. So like when you go to my store, my leadership, all my shifts, they're black. You know what I'm saying? Like my baristas and stuff, I got mixed. You know, I got black, Asian, some white, but all my leadership is black. And to me, that's important only because I get to continue to esteem and develop other people like myself and show them opportunities. You know, I've promoted people. You know, I've had people that were in bad bonds that needed a job, and I was the one that could look out for them, and you know what I'm saying, seeing them come up and woo woo. So like that's one of the most gratifying parts about it is just like really being able to instill my own culture. And I have a infinity for developing people. Like I love to see people grow into the best versions of themselves. And coaching can go a long way, but also owning your own development. Like I'm big on that. Like I'm gonna provide you with the tools and the support necessary for you to succeed. So you can't use me as an excuse, but are you gonna show up? I believe in you. I'm gonna be your biggest cheerleader the whole way, but make it easy for me to help you.
Right.
Do what you need to do.
Right.
And I think the hardest thing about it is work-life balance. That'd be the hardest thing, especially like when you get in there initially, especially like depending upon unless you got a brand new build, you're inheriting someone else's bullshit. So you gotta do away with
Yep.
all the bad habits.
Yep.
Maybe they wasn't
Change the
holding people
culture.
accountable,
Yeah, you gotta change
which
the
have a
culture.
toxic a toxic culture. Maybe
Yep.
the morale was low. It was the leader running the store was the store running the leader. You know, so you come in, bring your own people, you set the expectations, you provide the tools, and you just pour into people, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I've just learned that once you show by example and you show that you're willing to get down and dirty with people and they know that it's coming from a place of empathy as well as expectations when it comes to results, people run through a wall for you, man, because they know I ain't gonna just have you doing some shit just to be having you doing some
Right.
shit. I'm always explaining the what, why.
Mm.
And just because I just feel like no matter what your job is, I'm always come to you like you a business person because this is your business right now. This is
Right.
what you're using your time to make money, so let's make the best out of it, right?
Did I hear you say you a father?
Yeah, of 3 girls.
Yeah, so how are you balancing, especially with girls?
Mhm.
How are you balancing all that you running? Because girls really need you to be.
I spoiled the shit out of it, man. My old lady's mad at me because of the way I mean, I don't know if I had sons, would it be different? But like as far as like with girls, bro, it's very important that I'm always the first nigga that loved them. The first nigga that told them they beautiful. The first nigga that said, yeah, you could do this. The first one to put the bread up. So when they go out into the world, they're already accustomed to this and their expectations are high. I gang my daughters up. Like my daughter is 14, 11, 6. They all like 4 years apart. But I just talk to them like how would want somebody to talk to me? Like I always just keep it 1,000 while with them, but I love them through whatever it is that they're going through. But for me, the most important thing is being present and being a positive role model and an example and showing them even like what love looks like between me and their mom, like even with the one who I'm not dealing with or whatever, like just having a healthy co-parenting relationship, it means a lot because, you know, the fragments of the relationships that they see is what builds their expectations for how they approach theirs. You know what I'm saying? They see little snapshots of how we deal with certain situations. And if they see a certain thing become more of a habit or, ritual or whatever, they're like, okay, to show love, I have to yell and scream. I gotta throw this. So it's like making sure that their perspective is right. You know what I'm saying?
So I ask people this because, like, the a lot of people, a lot of dudes with girls, they spoil them to a fault, and sometimes we think about how we want them to be treated, but we don't think about how we want them to treat if they get a good dude around. So how do you teach your daughter to keep a good person around? Because you want her to have a good dude around, some dude but if you just spoiling her, I'm not saying you are, she ain't gonna be able to keep no, because you didn't want no woman that was just like spoiled, or you wanted a woman that was just spoiled.
Nigga, I'm a player. Talking about. Like, nigga, of course, nigga, I'm gonna get it all up. No, I'm just playing. Like, nah, I definitely understand what you're saying. And that is a very good standpoint. But for me, I think I just keep it real with them. So it's like, it's not the fact that like, oh, you like a little boy. I'm not gonna like not entertain the conversation, but I'm gonna start off with certain questions, but then I'm gonna get down to the qualities. Like, see me, I'm big on identifying the type of qualities in a person that you want, right? So like even with certain situations, oh, so and so hurt my feelings, and what do you do? Okay, well, he's standing on you in front of other people. So what qualities does that display? He doesn't respect you in front of others. How could that trickle out throughout your relationship in other ways? How might that present itself, right? Because you ain't like it. Okay, so you got to be with someone who you can talk to, because you can't come to me and tell me about the problems y'all have and expect for me to fix it. Y'all got to fix it yourself. So like literally, I be having conversations like that, bro.
But
Like,
they got to be able to. You got to hold them accountable too.
Correct.
On the other end, yeah.
Correct. But at the end of the day, shit, my daughter's on some bullshit, man. I'm behind them though. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Right or wrong, nigga. That's my daughter. But nah, I'm just playing with you. I know what you're saying.
Nah, you ain't playing.
Nah, hell nah.
I do think that'd be why it's hard for dudes to deal with women a lot of time, because when you're trying to be a good dude, they got these dads that just spoil them and don't teach them how to be a woman. I'm not saying you can tell her how to be a woman, but you know what you like in a woman.
Yeah, now let me ask you a question. So how do you equate, like, what is the connection between accountability and being spoiled? What is the line that you're drawing?
Well, I'm saying, like, so a lot of people, when they're spoiling, they don't tell them what they need to do. You get what I'm saying? Like,
in the sense of like work reward is what you're saying, or versus just giving you shit just because?
Just giving you shit just because. Because now as your dude, you just want me to give you shit just because, and you're not giving back.
And that's a good point. So let me clarify. When I say spoil, you got to handle your business first before we get to you handle your business, then we get to playtime. You know what I'm saying? Yes, but like all my kids are honor roll students, fucking gymnastics, swim course. Bro, they in the fucking suburbs of Gwinnett County. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't growing up nowhere near like me. Matter of fact, they be checking bullshit amongst their friends, and that lets me know that I'm instilling the right principles and values and, ethics and morals to them, because they come to me like, Dad, I can't believe my friend was cussing or saying this or woo woo. Like, my kids are very respectable. So, like, but to your point, like, when you on bullshit, now all that's dead. Like, now you ain't playing no VR, you ain't doing this, you know what I'm saying? But, like, when it comes to overall, though, yeah, I'm gonna make sure they're straight. That's what I mean.
Your girls live with you? Oh, 3.
Well, my oldest used to live with me, but she just went back with her mom in Kansas.
Okay.
Here
But
recently.
The other 2.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
Yep, from cradle to the, you know what I'm saying? From
Hey,
to
well,
the
me as a girl dad, you know what I mean? And of course, everybody know my oldest daughter. I kept it 100 with my oldest daughter too, kind of to what you're saying. You was exposed to a lot. Of course, me having my child at 16, I exposed her to a lot. So
right.
in some, respect, she may have been a co-conspirator,
right, or a couple little things.
Yeah, unknowingly, you know what I'm saying? But I taught my daughters, and I teach them, because both of my daughters are adults now. We're their reference point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But always, because now I think the new generation, a lot of the relationships are transactional. It's It's what you can do for me, what I can do for you, what you got, you know, and all of that. Even down to how many followers you got. It's ridiculous now. I'm glad I don't have to date in this era, right?
That part.
But what I taught my daughters was, listen, you know, you get with someone that you love and that you can build with, right? Don't judge a man on what he has or what he doesn't have. You know what I mean? Judge him on the content of his character.
Hell
Because,
yeah.
you know, we know every relationships can be, life hits everybody. You know what I mean? You can be up
Everybody.
1 minute and down and everything in between. So if that relationship is built, predicated on, you know, the good shit, you ain't done shit. You ain't been battle tested. You
That
know
part.
what's
And you
going
gonna fold. The
you
minute
gonna
some
fold, right?
adversity come, you gonna
Man,
fold.
so I tell my daughter, look, even if you get with a nigga and he don't got nothing, but you see potential in him and he's proactively trying to get somewhere, you can rock with that.
You
Don't
can rock
rock with
with
no
that.
nigga that don't got nothing, that don't want nothing, ain't working toward nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But because guess what? They mom did the same thing.
That
You know what I'm
part.
saying? I was a kid when I didn't have shit
Right.
to offer. And what I
Right.
had to offer, I gave her. That's how we got my daughter.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm
That
saying?
part.
You feel me?
Slanging.
That's all I had. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so you know what I mean? So but she saw the potential in me before I did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I try to get that to my daughters and I make sure their heads and their minds don't get caught up in it, which they know better because they have the reference point of me and their mom. But it's not lost on me that a lot of young ladies don't have what we're giving our daughters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're left to their own devices where social media, they don't know that they're already beautiful. So
Right.
they think they need a BBL. They think
Validation.
they need the validation. So I commend you on everything that you're doing, brother. Like,
Man, I appreciate it, man.
gotta give you
And y'all
flowers.
both made like good points with that one too. And I think with any and everything, and any parable lesson, it's about balance. Cause like one thing too, I teach my daughters is the more you're fully dependent upon someone, the easier you're taking advantage of,
That's a
because they
fact.
hold that shit over your head.
That's a
And it's like,
fact.
if I know that I got you hooked, like you can't survive without me. I always tell them,
Exactly.
have your own and
Exactly.
come with your own.
That's
Like
right.
even like as my oldest, when it's getting a little older, and I'm like preparing myself for that dating conversation, I'm like, I'm gonna tell her, always have your own money.
That's a fact.
Don't expect for no nigga to pay for you. Now, if he do, that's cool, but have your own bread too, just to let him know this ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that balance.
Because you gotta teach them love has to be, you know, I know that sounds probably antiquated, you know what I mean, and cliche in this generation, but the foundation gotta be love. See, love is, you gotta love the crust of a motherfucker when love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you look pretty and all of that, but I gotta love you the same, if not more, when you're sick, you don't feel well,
Exactly.
your hair fucked up.
Exactly. Buggers out the
Yeah,
nose,
you
all
know what
that
I'm
shit.
saying?
Look, come on, man.
Now see, that's love.
And another part of like for instance, hold my daughter accountable. It was a time when she tried to unalive herself, and she had a boyfriend at the time. He was there through holding her hand through everything and going through the motions with her. But when she kind of came out of that slump or whatever, I asked her, "Have you checked on him mentally? Have you seen what
Right.
have you talked to him about what he went through at that time?"
Right.
When she was able to, talk about that. That's what I'm talking about. Like if you got somebody riding with you like that through that, check on them too. Cause we
Hell,
dudes,
motherfucker, yeah.
cause dudes don't get that, and you'll get made to think like, damn, I just gotta be here to be the tough one. Like I'm really
I
going
can't
through
handle
something.
emotions. I can't handle. Man, that's a great example
And
of the point that you made.
Think
Hell
about
yeah.
it, cause if you want to commit this and I'm your dude,
What
am I doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So he got a whole nother mindset.
Exactly.
The thing he may be going through that he hasn't expressed to her that he has to. So check on him.
Hell yeah.
I think
Now
what you're speaking
that's
to
good
is
ass shit.
reciprocity. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
And I tell people that that's like, me and my wife been together 33 years, you know, and you know, it works because we want it to work. But what works is when reciprocity, when, like, for instance, like you said, you know, when something's going on with me, it has to go both ways with me and my wife. It's like, no. You know, if there's an issue, no. Forget me. What's going on with you? What can I do to make it better for you? And the other person is mirroring that.
Right.
Saying, no. It ain't about me. What can I do for you? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like we almost caring about each other more than we care about ourselves, but that's reciprocated.
Hell yeah.
That makes it easier to work through the bullshit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I be telling people like, man, you got to walk in love, grace, and mercy. You know what I'm saying? And then most people, their critiques are loud, you know, and their compliments are quiet.
That's a fucking fact.
You feel me?
That's a
You
fact.
got to reverse that shit.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? You got to praise and
Right.
praise. And then if there is something to address, hey, babe, let me holler at you. You know,
Right,
like,
right.
you
Come
know,
softer
sometime
tone,
when
right.
when you do this, you may make me feel away, you know, and that's going to be received a whole lot better than, you know, you just bitch like you always, you know,
Right.
or petty games where, oh shit, you don't do it. I ain't going to.
Right.
Make sure you do that in good air, though.
Mhm.
Don't do it when the tensions is high and stuff.
Right.
Let's be out to eat, having a good time, and be like, you know what? Can I talk to
Right.
you about? You know,
Right.
I found that works with my wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'll be able to, or we watching a movie or something, and we both laughing at the movie, but the situation may arise in the movie that I was just going through. Oh, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Flip
Exactly.
it on her, like
That's a little
that's
segue.
kind of what I was. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, but it's hard to receive it from me because you're obligated to me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You. It's just like when I was younger. When we had to do chores, I didn't want to do it at my house. But if I go to somebody else's house, I'm doing those chores.
Oh, right. Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? 'Cause-
Exactly.
Yeah. You ever been watching a movie and you be like, damn, I hope this shit don't start an argument.
Yep. 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 Please don't ask me what I think.
Exactly.
Please don't ask me what I think.
Yeah, me and my wife, we have healthy debates, man. Like she always said, we should do a podcast, you know. And you know, we be debating about politics, trending shit. And sometimes we're on the opposite ends of things, you know. But this is why I always say, real love is not, always seeing eye to eye.
Right.
But as long as you're looking in the same direction,
That's
you know
a
what I
fact.
mean? That's
That's
it.
a fact.
That's it. So on that note, brother, what you got coming up next?
Oh shit, man. The next song, well, I just dropped Any Means with me, Santana Fox, and Sophie Hayes. The next record I'm dropping this month is Trapdoor Knocks with me and Hood Nizzle. So man, I'm gonna be consistently dropping records every month. Like I said, we got between those 6 cities that I just been kind of hitting consistently, setting up my circuit. And right now we're in the talks with Columbus, Georgia about setting up a show. I'm gonna do a show through the radio station out there. I've already kind of like looked at the venue, locked that aspect in. So we're just kind of getting the contracts and stuff straight. But yeah, man, 4th of July weekend looks like I'm gonna be in Columbus, Georgia, man, doing a fucking
Nice.
show. So
Nice.
yeah, man. But it's just kind of like doing what I always do, man. Just staying consistent and just trying to add new things to the repertoire as far as like content.
All right. Last question. And this is going back to something that I forgot I want to touch on. So you a gun dude.
Yep.
I'm a gun dude too. What's your daily carry?
My daily carry right now, I switched from Smith and Wesson. I got a Glock 17.
Oh, 9mm.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. So typically, okay, this is how I say it. When I'm out here, I carry nines. When I'm in KC, I carry 4.5s. So
Okay.
it's like
Yeah.
it's basically like that.
So
Like, yeah.
so let me ask you, so 7.62 or 223?
And I want that 223 because I'm a hood nigga.
Why?
Because I'm a hood nigga.
Why?
Which is
No. See, in the 90s, the original hood nigga chopper was a 7.62.
Nah,
SKS AK.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
And I remember
I
I
don't
had
like the
a mini
223
I
really.
had a mini M14 too in high school and lost that.
Oh, you had the Mini 14? Oh,
Boy,
wow.
that fire that used to come out that
So
road.
the Mini 14 with the wood stock? With
Nah,
wood,
the silver and black
the
joints.
silk. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ruger Mini 14.
Yup. Used to
Okay.
have that motherfucking damn my
Yeah.
pant leg, bro. That's when
I remember
we
them
wore big
days.
clothes. Yeah, boy,
Nah,
you could
so
put a
nah.
whole fucking
So how
chopper
we
in
used to do it? I used to have a sawed off 12 gauge.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And I used to put the barrel. This is the starter coat days. 'Cause I didn't want nobody to take my starter coat. Put the barrel.
Jesus was snatching them
Yeah.
motherfuckers, boy.
Put the barrel in your pocket. Have this up under there. You know what I mean? And put your coat on. You can't tell.
Exactly. We know the tricks. Well,
Yeah. What you think about the 5.7 round, the FN 5.7 and the Ruger 5.7?
I ain't shot that motherfucker yet.
Really?
What you think about it?
I have it. I think it's a novelty a little bit just because it's a pistol shooting a rifle round.
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
know?
saying. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I've been seeing hella shorts about this shit because I've been thinking about getting me a new rifle, and I was like, I've been seeing all the AR-15 versus the AR pistol and
Yeah.
with the whoop and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But I feel like it depends, man. But I mean, like once you cut the barrel off, you know you losing range, you losing accuracy,
Yeah, you're
everything
losing
else.
velocity, and Darren can probably tap in on a lot of this shit. But like with the I don't know, like the 5.7 round for the pistol for the FN. Like I say, it's a novelty. I've seen ballistically. I mean, it's a fast round, but it's not a stopping round. You know what I'm saying? Because like my daily carry is a 357 SIG Glock. Yeah, yeah. And I got two twins, 44 bulldogs, like snub noses. You know what I mean? You know, I'm cowboy.
I was
You know what I'm
about to say,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
way
I'm
like that.
cowboy.
You
Yeah.
don't want to leave shit
I
behind
still,
either. Like,
I still,
ain't got pick nothing up.
I still like 12 gauge. 12 gauge is my go-to for close quarter combat. You know what I mean? Double eye buck slug.
That's what I got me I got a pump in the closet too.
Mhm.
But the next thing I've been telling myself, I want two things. Cause I want a pretty one. I want a 1911.
I got one.
I want a 1911 like my dad had. My dad had chrome with the marble like pearl handle shit.
Pearl
Oh
handle.
my
Yeah.
god, that
Gangsta
motherfucker
shit.
was so. And I
Yeah.
want what you just talked about, cause like back in KC, see too, like I felt like. Well, I feel like I used guns more when I lived in Kansas. Clearly,
Mhm.
like here now, I'm just using the
Right.
range. Nigga, it was active
Yeah.
fucking field
Yeah.
shit like when I was back there. But like I used to always keep a 38. But I said I want me another Trey 5.7 and I want me a 38.
You can't mess with a Trey 5.7.
Hell,
Trey
motherfucking nah,
5.7
bro.
gonna
That
let
was
them
one of
know.
my third guns in KC.
Yeah.
I had the long nose joint
Yeah.
too. The
Yeah.
Robert Townsend on that motherfucker, boy. You had to make sure you're distant for a nigga grab that
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah.
I'm like, boy, watch out, boy. Watch out,
Yeah,
boy. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
357. I love a 357 because the 357 SIG that I have, that's the bottleneck bullet. So it's the jacketed 40 caliber with a it's a neck down with a 9mm slug. You know what I mean? So it's more velocity, you know,
Hell
faster
yeah.
round. So
Cracking them
yeah.
bones.
You know, 40s is cool, 9s is cool. I'm like you. It's either 45 or 357. That 4.5, I just love a 4.5.
Man,
I got a Springfield XD 4.5.
motherfucker gonna bite and bark,
Yeah,
man. So
yeah.
that's what I'm like, yeah, I'm in KC, boy, you're gonna see me with a
Real quick,
4.5.
Darren. Yeah. What's your thoughts? Yeah. What's your okay? Yeah. Yeah.
That is true too.
Yeah. Throw off your
That
accuracy.
is true.
Yeah.
You never
Yeah. Never miss.
you never lose it.
I got a 6.5 Grendel. You familiar with that?
Hell no, what the
It's
hell?
like a sniper. You know what I'm saying? Sniper gun. It's 6.5. It's a mean round. I had to show it to you.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm like, nigga, what the
Yeah.
motherfucker like a cassette tape of that one.
Yeah, but shit. Okay, brother. Well, on that note, bro, I appreciate you coming through, bro. Listen, I love what you're doing. You know what I mean? I'm super proud of you. You know, I told you when I came to the A, I was gonna have to get with you, man. And you know,
Oh yeah, for sure. You made it happen.
yeah, you a testament of just, you know, excellence, bro, and coming from the mud and making the necessary changes. That's what I love. Making the necessary changes to elevate, you know. So that's what I wanted to show the world with you coming on to the podcast. Cause I know your story, but I wanted to show the growth from here to there. You know what I mean? But that from here, you know, because what I hear is even though your dad was doing what he was doing, but that hustler was in you
Exactly.
intrinsically, is genetic, and you just took it and used it a different way, you know,
Exactly.
for positive. So
Exactly.
I love that. So, you know, the fact that you have the balance, you know what I mean? You got the hood, but then you're educated and you continue to educate yourself. So, man, kudos to you, bro.
Much love, man. Thanks for having me. You know what I mean? It's the first time, but it ain't gonna be the last time,
Yeah,
man.
that's
I'll be
right,
a
that's
recurring
right.
guest on this motherfucker.
That's right. That's right. And shout out to the homie Damo. I appreciate you
Already.
Appreciate this
sitting in.
opportunity, man. This was fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really got a different perspective of you too. Like I only get to see you online, so
Right.
it's like meeting you. I get the Nipsey shit.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
understand everything, bro. You dope. You fire, bro.
Man, that's love, bro. I
Appreciate
appreciate
you.
you. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you.
too. So, like I said, y'all got to tap in with Damo and his platform, indelibly marked. Tap in with Dewey Da Don. And that's another one for Holdin Court Podcast, broadcasting live from the ATL.